everyone, I'm Elliot, and today I'm going to be reviewing Deepwater Horizon for all of you lovely people out there. Deepwater Horizon is a film that takes us through the motions of a disaster that occurred in real life. It tells the fascinating story of an oil rig that exploded off the Gulf of Mexico due to precautionary incompetence by the people on board. Now, before I go any further, I just want to preface this whole review with a bit of a dilemma that I'm having in digesting this film. I came out of the cinema feeling that my viewing of the film was a completely miserable experience. Now, when I say it was a miserable experience, this is the dilemma because I'm not saying it was a bad movie. In fact, I would say this film is very well made in particular parts. But in terms of enjoyment, I found it completely unfulfilling because this is not a feel-good film, it's not an enjoyable film. If you go into this expecting that, then I feel like you will be disappointed because naturally it's a disaster film, so there's not going to be a lot of good in here, not going to be a lot of uplifting story beats. Now, besides that point, this film obviously does have a purpose. It's based on a true story, and in many ways it is a tribute to the people that are included within the story. In particular, I noted that after the film had ended but before the credits had rolled, there was this tribute to the people that died on Deepwater Horizon. And it was moving to see the images and the people's stories there. Amid all the death and destruction that looms, the cast do give some really great performances. I have to admit that I'm a massive fan of Kurt Russell. I love all the films he did with John Carpenter in the 80s, such as Big Trouble in Little China and The Thing, and it's such a shame that he didn't really do movies for such a long time. It's only really the last year that Kurt Russell has been popping up in films again, and it's been great to see him in things like Tarantino's Hateful Eight, and in the western Bone Tomahawk, and now in this film. Mark Wahlberg and John Malkovich are certainly fine in this as well. They play two sides of the same coin, one side the guilty, and on the other side the totally innocent. Both of these sides are wrapped up in the chaos and destruction of Deepwater Horizon. I did note that the movie was slow in building up to the main event, but suspense does begin to pick up traction over time due to a lot of foreboding and little omens here and there that are foreshadowing what's about to come. Throughout the film there's this underlying metaphor of man versus nature. Now, when disaster strikes in the middle of the film, this is obviously man paying for its interference with the earth. Multiple times in the film the oil is jokingly referred to as a monster or monsters lying underneath the surface just waiting to be unleashed. Both a positive and a negative, the camera work is frenetic and claustrophobic. In certain scenes this movement works wonders, but in other times it is completely jarring and just takes you out of the experience. Overall, Deepwater Horizon is a perfectly serviceable disaster film. Some people will find it very good indeed, some people will just not like it at all. If I was just to rate this film on the filmmaking alone, I would rate it 3 stars out of 5. However, given that score, as I mentioned earlier, if you're just going into this film looking for enjoyment, you may well be disappointed. Okay, so all of that was what I thought about the film, but I want to know what you thought about it. I'll be back with some more films very soon, right here, but until then, I'll see you later.